What's up, traders? Welcome. So this stream, as the name call it, is going to be about the COT analysis. So it's going to be a bigger picture, and we will try to analyze based on the COT data what the banks are doing, what the big, large speculators are doing with their positions. Because they of course have to report these positions to the SEC, and they report it on their website as well. So what I'm doing is that I'm basically collecting this data, and I collect them into my application, which is this one. Just to say something about it, unfortunately, it's hosted on my website. I cannot draw anything here. So just to say what's going on in here, I basically collect the data every week. Now I have it automated. In the past, I've been doing it manually into the Excel sheet. So I have the dates of the reports, and maybe if you know how the reports are reported, so it's basically reported every Tuesday. The large speculators has to report the data every Tuesday, and it's published on the Friday. So we are basically looking for to the data which has been reported on the Tuesday, which is let me bring a lower time frame. Here is the euro. So we are now looking the data which has been reported here on the Tuesday, and it's published on Friday, right? Obviously, it's unfair because we don't know exactly what the big players are doing, and they, of course, know we are watching this data, and they know that it's obviously delayed. So they mostly change their direction, or they do the things. So we have the problems to read it, or many people read this COT data wrongly, but I will not be explaining it here. What we have to do is basically we need to think outside of the box, and not just look to the COT data and said, okay, they adding longs or they closing shorts. It's gonna be like this or that. We need to put it into the context with the chart, right? So after that we can get the long term view, and uh, the bigger time frame perspective. Maybe I can make it slightly bigger in here so we can see the numbers better, right? So yeah, like this. So okay, so let's start with the dollar index, right? As usually we start with the dollar because it's a main driver for the all markets. So what we can see here is that the price has reacted on this order block in here, and now what we are actually trying to understand is what the big players are doing. So what we want to know what is their positions in these latest swing moves. So we want to know what was their positions in here, because it will help us to understand what is this move about. Let me just edit this line a bit. I'll make it slightly like this one. Okay. Right. So we want to know what they've been doing in this move and what they are doing in here, right? So we want to understand what is this last, I think it's 4 weeks. Yes, what this last 4 weeks they have been doing, right? So it will help us to understand what is it. If it is a just pullback where they've been adding the longs positions, or did they really short it and they mean it to take it lower? So that's what we will try to understand right now. Okay, so let's look to the dollar index, and here we have the data. So maybe I could bring the data to our to the chart, so it's gonna be better for reading. So let me paste it here. Okay, so it's here, right? So we can see that in these previous months, here during the June, since May to the June, this move, this up move, what was happening in the position? So we can see that they basically been growing their longs positions, right? They went from 46, taking price up until the uh, 22 July. So here is the stop, and they had a 52k, right? So they've been growing their longs positions while they've been closing their shorts, right? And they peaked on the 22nd July. Since then the price is dropping, and this is what we are interested to understand, what was basically happening in here. So the price is dropping from the 22 July, and we can see their longs has dropped from the 52 to the 47, right? But what was happening with their shorts? Their shorts basically didn't do anything, and what they did, they actually reduced their shorts. So you can see that from the 13k they went down to the 8k. So in this move, they basically been taking profits from the longs, and they did not close, they did not add any shorts. So what is my opinion, if they still are exposure to 85% to against the 15%, 85% to the long side, so that means that they still have much more longs than shorts. And if they want to close them, where they would do it? Of course, not down here. They want to take it into the maximum profit, which will be up here somewhere. It can be even higher, right? So, in my opinion, the dollar index could be still bullish for the next weeks, when they will start to might closing more longs, or they will be adding more longs, because as said, this is the data from the last Tuesday, right? So this is last Tuesday report, and as well we need to see what and when they reported what they want us to see, right? So the report was here. Here was the Tuesday, and here on this bottom they reported this here, no, not much shorts, and slightly reducement of the longs, right? So less informed traders who looks to the COT and doesn't put it to the context with the charts, they basically see in the COT that they reduced their, and they don't have the history, right? So they see, okay, they reduced longs, okay, some shorts, so net positions minus. Yes, net positions is minus compared from the last week, which is I don't know where's the last week. It's a 20 22 20, 26. So it's from here. 26 was here. Oh, let me delete this one. Right. So from here, they reduced their longs positions slightly by 1k, but they did not add any big shorts, right? So currently we have the report reported in this period, and we don't have the data for this, right? Why they reversed the market the next day? Because they don't want us to know what we are doing, what they are doing, right? They always keeps you later. So that's why mostly the when on the Tuesday is the reversal, then mostly the Wednesday, Thursday, they change the direction, right? So I'm expecting them to taking the price slightly higher above these liquidity zones, and that's my view for the next week, right? In the long term, of course, from here we could get something like this, but it's not interesting for me currently. Next week I will be focusing in the intraday trading for this, right? So that's for the dollar. Let's look to the euro. Here is the euro, and what we can see in here, Let's go to the COT data first, and basically let's bring them back to the chart. So let me copy this and paste it here. All right, so now we have it here. And again, we want to understand on the bigger time frames the latest swings, right? So we want to see what has been happening in this swing and what is happening in here, or in basically, because currently it's not swing, it's a uh, consolidation, and we want to know if is it accumulation or if is it distribution, or what they basically doing in here, right? So we would like to of course know what they are doing here, and we will try to understand it. So let me just make it like this. Okay, so let's try to understand from here. So we have on the 26th June, on the 22nd June, price started to drop, right? So we have the report which was 22, which is here. And you can see that. You can see that very clearly. They had 230K longs in here, right? Since then, price dropped down, and the next report here was obviously a couple more reports. We can see the candles here highlighted. Then, when the price bottomed, it was 22nd June. Sorry, July. It was here. So in this move, they basically closed these longs. What they've been doing with the shorts, they've been adding them, right? So this move, they closed longs positions from 230k to the 197. We can see how their net positions dropped and how it get changed. Then we have some pullback. So we can see that in this pullback, the price has moved higher. We don't see any adding of the longs, and we can see that they've been still building their short positions, right? So right now, in this current stage of this consolidation, when we are now 1 to 3 weeks, so what is happening in here? Let me clear this a bit. And basically, this consolidation is last 3 weeks. So we have this. Okay, let me visual on now this one visual send to back. Okay, so now we should see it. So this consolidation is this, right? So what is happening in here? 1 to 3 weeks. So we can see the longs positions down, up, down, right? So they building it like this. What's happening with the shorts? They slightly reduced their shorts in this, right? Here is the latest report. Then the price moved down, and then it's moving a little bit lower again, right? So even though that it's still bearish, we can see that they're doing in this consolidation slightly reducing their longs positions, right? So as I said on the dollar, I am expecting dollar to move higher and just short term. And in the euro, it could be this move down into this order block. And as we see that they in this consolidation are reducing their short positions, then we might probably see something like this. Why? Because this order block, it's still unmitigated order block, which created this break of these lows, and this level was not still tested, right? So this is what I'm thinking that is going to be happening here, and maybe in the long term we might could see something like this then later, but that would be too much into the future, because I'm of course trading mostly intraday, but I like to see a bigger picture, right? So yeah, just to summarize the euro, we have seen big drop, where we have seen big reducement of the longs positions. Currently, we don't we made this pullback. We have created this order block. That's where the banks want to trade, because they move the price up, and now they doing in this consolidation, they're reducing their short positions, right? Then obviously, if they put it down here, that would mean that the dollar index will make this move, right? So it's all nicely synchronized, right? So this move on the dollar index, let me bring the daily, would be maybe in somewhere here, right? So if the dollar index moves somewhere in here, then the euro and the dollar index reverse there, then the euro could do this, what I'm expecting in here. But Uh, I used to be trading quite a long time in and doing the swings and trying to predict market too much, but I'm not doing this anymore. For me, in order to make money in the next week, is good that I understand what they are doing in this consolidation, and I still see that they still have quite bigger shorts positions. And if they had this move down, that means that they added even more shorts. So if they have shorts, they would like to be closing them somewhere here below the previous week low. Why? Because if the price, when the people will short, when they will buy their short contracts, when we will see the breakout, right, and it will be below this previous week low. So knowing that the price will come at least here, which is how many pips is that actually, which is actually 128 pips, with the high probability it's happening for the next week, it's enough for me to make money, right? Then the next week I will be again following the data, watching what happened, if they really closed more shorts, and even if we will might possibly see some longs growing in here. So in the next week, if the price, I don't know if that happened, but if the price will drop down here and we will see that they closed some shorts and added some longs, then maybe this could be in a play. All right, so let's go for the next one, and it's gonna be the pound. Pound is a tricky one because let me show you. And yeah, here is the pound. So what we see in here is it's interesting because it looks still very, very bearish, and but here's the trick. Even though it looks bearish, I believe it's a slightly it's okay. Let's analyze that, right? So we want to analyze these two latest moves, right? So we want to see. Let me adjust that a bit. So we want to see what's going on in here. What's been going on in this move and in this move, right? And by reading our positions, we will try to decode what the banks are doing. So let's go here. It is 1st June. So where is the 1st June? It's okay, let me check. 1st June. June. Is that on 686 here? Okay, so we have it here first, 8. Let me, I'm sorry. I just need to find it. Where is it? So it's 8 6 June. 8 June is here. Okay. So here we can see that they had some longs, and they slightly dropped for the next 2 weeks, which is this report and this report, and then they slightly build them and then closed. So yeah, if we summarize the longs positions, there actually not much happening, right? So we can see it's still all around the 30k, right? Around the 30k, nothing interesting, nothing changing. But the shorts positions, it's what's playing out, right? So let's watch the shorts, right? So this is because this is the tricky thing. It's moving up while we don't see growing longs positions, but uh, so not many people will think it's bullish, but I remember this from the 2020 when the pound was actually very bearish, and it still was showing bearishness, but it was moving up. And now I will explain you why. Because if we look this here, we can see these shorts, right? So price was dropping down, and here was the bottom, which is this 13th July, right? So 13th July, which is somewhere around here. So here we have 12th July, right? So 13, all right. So around here is the bottom, right? And we can see the shorts positions has peaked on the 92k, and since then the next 3 weeks, which is for us this period, next 3 weeks. Sorry, I picked the wrong tool. Where we have it here. This 3 weeks, right? Price is moving up. What's happening with the longs positions? Actually, nothing much, right? We can see there was a slightly growth, but look at the shorts from 92k to the 85, right? From 90 to 95. 95 was here, 95k shorts, 92, and then the price moved up, and here they reported just 85k. Then we don't have the data for this. So what could possibly happen in this last 3 days, for which we don't have the data? Let me bring actually a smaller time frame, this 12 hours. It's more precise, right? So here we have the report, and this is what they've been doing in the report. Basically, they dropped price down. So what they did, if they are actually closing shorts now, I think that they dropped the price down into this level, and they might close some more shorts, and might they added some longs, right? That is actually what is possible, because if we can see in this previous week, where was this report, they had 34k longs, and this Tuesday they reported they have less longs. So what they did with these longs positions? Oh, obviously they closed them here. They closed some profits in here. Then the price is dropping, and they will now probably close some shorts, and they will add these longs again, right? So I think that the pound is actually quite bullish, in my opinion, and we will probably see some accumulation in here, and then price could go higher, right? So again, if we go back to the euro, again, we can see they closing the shorts positions in this. So can be short term bearish and then bullish, right? And again, dollar can be short term bullish and then bearish, right? Why it can be bearish? Again, I missed, I didn't said this, but we have this accumulation in here, which still was not tested, right? So we had this break here, we had the small test here, but not the proper test of this weekly. So dollar, I believe, could be slightly bullish and then down. So that means the euro slightly bearish, then a bit higher. And the pound is a little bit in how to say, in advanced, I mean, in a little bit more in the future, right? So I think that the pound will go higher. That's in my opinion. Okay, so oh, hi Larry. Yes, so in the dollar index 104, 105 untested. Yes. Yeah. So this could be still really some trick, so most likely what we could see the next week, maybe taking out some previous week's high, and then maybe testing this fair value gap and then drop down, possibly. Because as well with the positions, we can see that they are actually dropping, however still bigger than short. So yeah, we will see. I think something like this is possible based on what I read from the positions now. Now let's look to the USDJPY. USDJPY, in my opinion, long term can be nicely bearish, and I'm actually following this chart for some time. Let me bring the COT data. So it's here, and I will bring it to the chart again. Okay. Okay, so it's here, and let's go to the daily. And here is actually the test of this monthly level, right? And we can see that for some time the shorts, the longs positions on the USD JPY. This is not for the JPY, but USD JPY. The longs positions and overall the exposure from the bullishness was a little bit dying when the price was coming up, right? So let's try to understand these two latest moves, right? So we have this up move, and then we have this move down, right? So let's start here on the 25 May. Where is the 25 May, which is okay? Let me bring it again to the 12 hours, because then it actually gives me the correct date. Then I missed it by one day, and then it's difficult for me to find it in the COT data. So all right, so it's 22nd May, and it's here, right? So we can see from here up to what is some release up to 19th July. So from 22nd May, from here where they have oh no, sorry, 22nd May is here. So it's 22. Okay, here's they had 116k longs, and here the stop is 22nd July, which is probably this release, right? So when the price was going up in here, they still kept their longs positions, but they've been slightly closing. So from 116k to the 102k. But look what has been happening with the shorts positions from 16k to the 42k, right? So they've been building shorts positions in here and closing the longs. Then what we can see in this last 3 weeks, which is here, which is basically from this report 1 2 3, this 3 reports. So in this period, so we are now analyze this down move. What we can see, the longs 102, 105, 93, right? So that's a big drop, right? So in this period we had the drop from the 105 to the 93k, and the short positions has grown for the from 43 to the 5k, right? So it's a total change in the net positions 18k, right? And if we look at it slightly from the bigger picture, we can see that basically they went from the something like 102k net positions to the 42k, right? It's a 50% drop in this period. So it's, in my opinion, definitely bearish now. We could start to look for the shorts. So what I would be doing here and where I would be looking for the shorts is this. Let me clear this chart a bit. I will just remove all these things which we don't want to have here. Okay, like this. So we had this break of this structure in here, which is the latest one. We have this break here, and then I'm simple method. I'm looking for the pullback into the origin of this move, right? So in my opinion, it would be somewhere in this level, which is some order block on the weekly, I think. No, daily. Okay, so on the daily, it would be like this. And if we want to go into the more deeper, we can see if we put this Fibo on this accumulation. Where was this accumulation? Then the 50% of this accumulation is around here, right? As well, if we put the Fibo, we are trying to find the confluences where it would be the most uh, high probable entry for us. So then as well, if we put the Fibo to, sorry, I didn't want to catch this one, like this. Right, so if we have the fib of here from this top to this bottom, right, like this. So we can see it clearly. Then it would be in this zone between 61.879, where we want to look for the shorts, right? Then of course we can go lower time frames. We can find a 1 hour, or even to be more precise, even to be more precise, here is the latest order block in here. So if the price comes up here, which would be actually in sync with the dollar index going slightly higher, maybe taking previous week's high, these two previous 2 weeks high, and then drop, then it would be perfectly in sync with JPY going up and then looking for the drop, right? That's what the COT data and the price section can tell us. All right, so I was planning to go through the all major pairs, but to be honest, I am trading intraday, and I did not make the proper analysis for this. So we can look just quickly for the kiwi as well. So let's look to the New Zealand dollar. I'm sorry, I don't have a proper analysis, but we can look. Anyway, we are looking for the bigger picture. Yeah, and this one is actually the one which I exactly don't want to trade much, because that's the reason I will show you right now. We can see that the positions are basically looking like this. And what does it tell us? It tell us that it's basically doing nothing, right? It's 52 to the 48. The shorts and longs are almost same. So here could be a lot of things happening. We can of course do the very deep analysis and try to guess what to do or not to do, but really, if you look the recently, it's been bearish. Right now it's slightly being reduced and maybe getting a bit bullish. in my opinion, we have this untested level in here, so it could come up here, and very similar picture as on the euro and the pound, the retest, slight retest, and going up, right? So if we want to analyze these two latest move, again this one and this one, to know what's going on, we don't need to go too much far. So let's check it like this. So let's go from here. So it's the beginning of the June, which is somewhere here. The banks had 12k, of course, not just the banks, the large speculators. They have 12k longs. Then the price was dropping. Now it has, and here was the bottom. So it's on the around here. So they added 2k. Now in this last 1 to 3 weeks, they actually adding longs positions, and we can see they are closing the shorts. They have closed the shorts from here, from this 1 6 what is it, yeah, from the beginning of the June. They had 32k here on the top of the shorts, and they still closing it. So in my opinion, it is bullish. I would be looking for some, again, with the sync with the dollar, right? So if the dollar will make this top, this previous week's high, take them out and start to drop down, that's same signal. Something similar would be happening on the kiwi, this and then up, right? And next time would be USDCAD. And USDCAD, I did just quick analysis as well to prepare for this video for you guys. So look at this one, and this one's actually start to make sense a bit right now. It was for me looking a bit confusing, but right now I actually start to see some pattern when I'm putting all these pieces together. So let's look at this one too. So we have the dollar index, and it was in this boring long-term consolidation until it reached, let me bring the weekly because that's the level, until it has reached this level. So basically what we have here, since the price has dropped and make this break of this structure here, this is the order block, right? So this one has to be tested, and price has dropped even lower in here too. So price has been consolidating, and then it retested this order block above these all, how many times they took out the liquidity, and now, and it started to drop. So let's look what's happening with the COT data in here. So in last 3 weeks, let's start. Okay, we could go all the way down from here, but I think I don't have such long data in here. But I have them in here, of course. If I go down here, but don't want to do it now. So let's check what's going on since they had these big longs positions and they start to reduce them, right? So it's something what happened on the May 17 May. Okay, so it's around here. They had these big longs positions. Let me bring it to the daily. So it's approximately around, okay, it's 17.5. It's this report. They still had these big longs, right? Since then, they actually closing them. So in this period happened this. Uh, they had these big long positions, 50k. Now they have 28k reporting in here. As well, what happened since the price has been for the last from the 22, which is here, they started building in this period, right? In this period, while we are in this range, they actually started building their short positions, right? So how look how it changed, right? So in here, as it was some bullish, and somehow it was changing. You can see, they've been bullish, bearish, and now it start to make sense. So we can see that they basically getting very bearish in this recent period, especially in the last 3 weeks since they hit that order block, right? So, yeah, again, if we put it to the context with the dollar, we can see here is maybe previous week's high. Here is again the latest order block. So, in my opinion, the dollar would go higher and drop. So, same could do this USD CAD, and the positions already says that we can see that they are preparing because they have almost two times bigger shorts. They are preparing for the short, right? Of course, I would not predict something like this, even it can happen, but we can go from the level to level. And I believe some traders correctly entered a short in here with price to targeting maybe these lows, but most likely they will be wiped out and then the price can drop down, right? So that's for the USD CAT. I don't know. I actually don't see how many people is on the stream. So if you are interested to see some more analysis, we still can go through the gold. If you want to go through gold, oil, or franc, we can do that. But I would might wrap it up because this is what we all need to know for the next week, right? So if I just summarize that, and it's of course not financial advice or like you need to do your own analysis as well, but you can just get inspired what I do. So with the dollar index expecting go higher then drop down, so the euro, we have seen that basically they're doing this consolidation above the order block, so price could go lower and then higher, right? So this is obviously potential prediction for the next weeks. This is not going to happen in one day. Next one is a pound is a little bit in advanced, even though it looks very bearish based on the COT data, but it's not, because here is this different pattern where we are actually seeing that the shorts are being closed and longs slightly coming in, right? So the net position says that clearly. We can see that the banks has been 80k exposures minus 80k net, which has been somewhere 524. Yeah, it was a little bit higher. Then they picked the bottom. They already started to accumulate. And here on this bottom around July, they already been only minus 56, right? So they changed their net positions to the minus 66, 56 negative, right? So we could probably see some more drop in the next week around this consolidation, which has created these breaks of these highs on the lower time frame, and then possible move up. Right, this is the USD Aussie. I'm sorry, I still have this pen. This is the Aussie. Where is the positions for the Aussie? We don't see them. But same case, could be a slight drop, lower liquidity, and then going to test this order block, right? USDJPY looking for, sorry, this looks really dirty, this chart, but yes, USDJPY looking to go higher and then drop. Kiwi could be same. Actually, was looking a little bit boring on the COT, but after we did a bit deeper analysis, we can see, I don't know when I moved this COT, that it can go higher too. So same the USD CAD after hitting this weekly order block, and what we can see in the COT data could be bearish, right? And same, I think might could. Okay, I would not touch the gold today. I will leave it for next time when I do the proper analysis of the all. So this was the first stream of the COT, and I see you next Saturday again. Bye bye, my friends.